Hi, I'm James Molesworth, Senior Editor and Lead Taster on the wines of South Africa for Wine Spectator. And if you've been following along with my coverage, you know that South African wines are really coming on strong in the US, both in terms of quantity, South Africa is sending more wines here than ever before, and in terms of quality, the wines are better than ever before. For the red wines, there's Syrah and Cabernet Sauvignon. For the white wines, there's Chenin Blanc, Sauvignon Blanc, Chardonnay, and more. So with that in mind, I headed over to Xai Xai Winebar on the west side of Manhattan, where they put together some South African wine and food pairings for us. I'm joined by Brett Curtin. He's the owner of Xai Xai Winebar. Brett, thanks for having us in today.
You're very welcome.
Brett, you were born and raised in South Africa, then you moved to the States. You opened up Xai Xai Winebar. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Well, you know, traveling around the city, there's umpteen wine bars from umpteen nationalities. We looked to have something that was uniquely South African because there just wasn't anything in the city that showcased South African wine, and we hope to provide a home for South African wine in New York.
So the wine list is all South African?
Absolutely.
And the food is South African?
Absolutely.
So let's talk a little bit about the food. You've put together two dishes for us with some specific wines. Let's talk about the first dish here. You have a fish curry and a Chenin Blanc.
Right. It's a Cape Malay pickled fish, mildly curried. It's got a vinegar base. I think it marries well with the Chenin Blanc having a little bit more body to it than, say, a Sauvignon Blanc, and a little bit more residual sugar to it, which enhances the curry element.
I really like the combination. The FMC Chenin Blanc from Ken Forrester is one of my top-rated Chenin Blancs. Old bush vines. He barrel ferments, so it's got a richness on its own, a little bit of sweetness, as you said, but still minerally. And I think it plays great with the little sweet curry aspect in the fish, too, which is served cold, and yet there's a lot of flavor in it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Let's move inland now. We've got a lamb dish here, paired with a red wine. Tell us about that.
It's a spiced lamb curry stew, packaged inside a mini bread loaf. It has a certain amount of spiciness to it that I think marries well with the Syrah. I think they both complement each other in terms of their spiciness and their consistency.
Yeah, I like what you say about the spice, which really works here. The Buchenhutskloof, how's my Afrikaans?
Very good.
Buchenhutskloof is owned and run by winemaker Mark Kent, and he makes this Syrah, which is one of my top-rated Syrahs, from a single vineyard out in Wellington. And he makes it in a sort of a Rhone style, so it has the structure and the grip that you get in an old world Syrah, but a lot of the new world freshness and fruit too. It's that combination which I really like about South African reds, the best of both worlds. And it just picks up all the flavors in the lamb and is a great pairing.
Thank you.
Brett, thanks for putting these together. They're both very wine-friendly dishes, and especially when paired with two of the best South African wines out there. So thanks for putting it together.
You're very welcome. Thanks for coming.
Cheers.
Cheers.